Hey, hi Manjot. Can you hear me?
Hi, Swapnil. Yes, you're audible. Am I audible?
Yes, you're perfectly audible. Yeah. So yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Yes.
So let's wait for some time and then we'll start when people join, right?
Sure, sure. That sounds great. Yeah.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. We'll be starting in 1 or 2 minutes. We are waiting for people to join. I think we are good to go now. So welcome everyone. This is my first space as a host, and I'm looking forward to this valuable conversation. And the topic of the day is getting started with freelancing, and we have Swapning and Rajneesh as our special guest today. So we are looking forward to learn from them and their experiences. So the first question that I would like to ask is, what motivated you to start freelancing as a career option? So let's begin with Rajneesh first.
Good evening, all of you. So, first of all, I would like to thanks Manjot for inviting me for being a speaker on the space. And as Manjot said, this is her first space. I would like to congratulate her. And it's not, and it's for me as well. I am also co-hosting or became a speaker first time. So, can you repeat the question again, Manjot?
Yeah, sure. I asked that what motivated you to consider freelancing as a career option?
Okay. So you see, I started working as a Java developer in 2008. So it has been a long time. And when I started working on Java language, after working 1.5 years in a company, I felt that Java is a very big language, and to be expert in that, you need at least 5 to 7 years. Because at that time, jQuery and JS platforms were not common, and after seeing that 5 to 7 years of duration, I felt that it's going to take too much of my life. After completing a long education, you have to give your important time again. And because that convinced me to find some another method, alternative method to earn money, which will be easy to earn as well as it will save my time. So what happened, it forced me to change the language and I switched to PHP. So PHP helped me a lot to start the freelancing, and the motivation was that I want to save my time of, because I was fed up with learning new things every day, and I want to avoid that. So I that was my first motivation to actually start working as a freelancer. And then second was a kind of issue with the job I did initially. I worked on a platform which was on Java. It was a e-commerce platform known as Offbiz. You might not have heard about it. That platform was not popular. It was difficult to find a job on that, and I was like in a situation that I have to again start studying from beginning and find a good job for myself. And I have to switch the location I am living. I was in Mohali at that time, so I was not convinced to move to another place and then start learning again. So that's actually not only forced me, but also motivated me to take that direction. So this was the first point that leads me into this direction.
Okay, thank you so much, Rajneesh, for your perspective. Shiv wants to say something, right? You can go ahead, Shiv.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, hello everyone. So my question is for Rajni Ali that I'm audible to all.
Yes, you are clearly audible.
Okay. So my question is to Rajni is that how much time he is now into this freelancing.
So, okay, let me give you a bit of. I will try to be as short as possible, but I will give you a lot of information about this. So, 1.5 year of experience as a Java developer, and in that job, I integrated a lot of front end templates. I got used to understanding the framework and controllers and MVC structure. I added lots of jQuery and CSS, HTML. I was very good at logically, but I didn't get much of chance to work on the logical part. But because I had that, I used that in PHP. So after that, I worked for 3 years by finding. I was trying to find clients directly. It was a kind of a shortcut technique. That technique used to work at that time. It doesn't work these days. So after 3 years, I was left with no options but to do a job again. So in that 3 years, I made enough clients and I earned a decent income of, let's say, $1,000 in a month. No, that was a good period. On average, it was around $500 or $600 a month. But then I realized that that trick stopped working. So I have to find alternative. So I didn't had any good profile on Odesk. Upwork was known as Odesk at that time. So I had a profile, but I was not bidding on that. Even I don't like doing marketing or bidding at that time. It can be lack of skills, or being a developer, it doesn't interest me to place a bid at that point of time. Then I joined a company. In that company, I found it was a PHP company. I worked only for 3 months. I found that in that company, people companies earning so much money on a very poorly coded project. It was on Joomla, a PHP framework, and two developers are working on it, including me, and they were getting paid $30 per hour for both of them. And it was a poorly coded project by someone, and I knew that that project is going to be failed in long term, but the company is earning so much money. So I understood one thing, that you should work hourly on the Upwork or Odesk or any framework, When you work hourly, you get paid every week, and you get paid good amount. It also improves your profile. So I learned that trick from the company. I left the company in 3 months, and I asked my existing clients. I came back to my existing clients and asked them to, if they have a job for me, I asked them to hire me on Upwork. So when I asked them to hire me on Upwork, my profile start building up. And and the and the clients which were paying me $500, they end up they end up paying me thousands of dollars in a month, because I was asking them to work hourly instead of a fixed budget. So that way it helped me to grow in freelancing. So after 3 years of freelancing in a very bad way, without any profile, without any recognition, you were I was like, every day I was like, I have nothing to show, because my projects were, let's say I built some websites, I customized something, but I don't have valid proof. So after 3 years, I start making proofs and so on. It helped me to make, within 6 to 8 months I was able to create a small team of 5 people in the PHP. I hired a, I rented an office, and that way my freelancing started and converted into a company. So then, from that point, I don't think I had faced any issues. It has been very consistent. I hired a bidder who used to do a bidding for me. At that time, it was not a problem that you have to, let's say there was no limit to send a proposals. You can send 20 or 30 proposal in a day. There was no pricing. But now things have changed, so it's not easy for a new freelancer to start, because you need money to place connects on Upwork specifically. So this is how my freelancing went on, from initial stage to second stage. There were some tricks which I applied, that helped me, which I can explain you in this space on another question. But this is how the journey started, and this is how I moved to this place where I am now.
Okay, Rajni. The second question, like right now you are running a company. Right now, not as a freelancer you are working, as a company you are working.
Right now I'm working as a freelancer. Actually, I can build a company within 3 months, because I have enough investment, as well as I know how to start a company. But the only problem is, I don't want to start a company on a projects like before. Because I work on PHP, the biggest demerit of PHP is that projects are 90% project are less than 1 month. So every month you need new project, new client, otherwise you can't survive. And because projects are small, you have to micromanage them with team. You have to daily send updates and get updates from them. If they don't do it, you have to do it yourself, help them. So this was a quite a challenging task, because PHP projects are very small. So I don't want to go in that route again. I will open a company only if I have some kind of projects where single project will acquire at least 3 to 4 people. So, previously, one of my team member is working on 2 3 projects simultaneously every month. So I don't want to start a company like that. I can do that even today, but I don't want to do that. So today I am a freelancer. I am working as a freelancer. I am doing everything myself, and because my expertise are in PHPs are at that level, I can comp- I don't want to say this, but I can do what normal developer do in 3 4 days. I can do it 6 to 7 hours, and that's how I make money. The
Yeah,
speed,
great.
the
It
speed
looks like
is
you
the,
have a lot of experience in freelancing.
yeah.
So,
Is
how like previously you mentioned that you made like around 1,000 or 500 a month, the dollar a month.
right, right.
So, how like with this much of experience, how much you are making right now?
Got cut off. Can you repeat the question? Shiv, your voice got cut off. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Sorry. I was saying that you mentioned that earlier you used to make $1,000 of month or 500 on an average. But with such experience and looks like you have a lot of experience in freelancing, you know all the tricks and tips. So nowadays, how much you are earning? Like how much you are
And
making
now,
in a month?
yeah, the period when I used to work earn $500. $1,000 was a $1,000 were couple of month in a year. That was the period when I don't have any recognition. There was no Upwork profile. There was a profile, but no work was done on it. So that was the period when I was finding direct clients. Now it my income, I will say only for last 3 months, because I haven't done anything in last 2 years after Corona, and because I had a client which has been working with me for since 4 years. He was working with me before COVID came in, and he continued the project until I think May 2023. So because he left due to lack of funding, and I have to restart the things. You see, if you find my profile on x.com, Twitter, you see I was not active over there, and I became active after that client left me, because for that period of time I was like completely absent from Upwork or from social media everywhere. I have limited myself in that period, because it's a personal thing, but I do meditation, and I'm not so much attached to all these things. So what happened was, now that client left me and I have to find the clients. Even I was in at that point I was thinking, how will I get clients, because I haven't placed a bid for 2 years, and before that my team were placing the bid for me. I had two bidders and one email analyst who used to do email marketing, and two for bidding in my company. So they were doing job for me for 3 4 years, and it has been a gap of 6 years from my side not doing any marketing. So I was not in touch of that. I was not even aware of that Upwork have added features like catalog, and connects are getting paid. So I learned all this 3 4 months back again, because I was not checking Upwork much. So now I am earning, you see, I cashed up in within a month. I was able to generate revenue of 4,000, even $5,000 in the month of, I think, June or July, up to 5,000. And I work only 50. Actual development I do is only 15 days, I think, for $5,000. Rest of the time I am finding client, or I am just doing something. There is so many things to do, like giving time to twitter.com, or building your own website, updating GitHub or something like that. So because of my speed of work, I can do $5,000 of work within 15 days or so. So that is what keeps me active. And I also don't take any holidays. If I need any holiday, I can take that any day, anytime. But otherwise, I don't prefer holidays. I can work on Sunday, Monday. I don't care. For me, every day is same. But when I have to go somewhere, I just go. That's the simple policy I have been working with, and I have been following this policy for, I think, 12 to 13 years. So my earning now is 5,000. You can assume average 4,000. Like, my business is down this month. I think it is only around 3,000, because I had four good clients to come in, but for some reason they haven't started the project. So my target was not achieved this month. But this is part of freelancing.
Okay, okay, great, Rajni. It's nice to hear your experience. Over to you, Manjot.
And thank you, Shiv, for asking this and bringing this up. Now let's move on to Swapnil. So, Swapnil, how you started freelancing and how are you finding clients and projects? Am I audible, everyone?
Yes, to me.
Swapnil, is it audible?
I think his mic is also on, but his voice is not. I can't
Maybe
hear you.
he's connecting again, maybe some connection issues. Yes, Swapnil. Now okay.
Maybe was it some Twitter bug? But yeah, you were audible, so I heard the question. And first of all, congratulations, Manjot, on your first space, and thanks for inviting me. You're already doing great. And Rajnish, yeah, thanks for your answer as well. So yeah, I will get started. So first of all, those who don't know about me, I'm Swapnil Mane. I'm a full stack software engineer at GrabJobs. I am a top rated freelancer on Upwork and also do different like on Fiverr as well. I get some clients from there, and I have been freelancing from almost around 3 years. And the opportunity, the job opportunity, remote job opportunity that I got was from freelancing itself. So I recently got that. So yeah, freelancing, starting freelancing early was a decision that paid off very good for me. So yeah, coming back to the answer why I started freelancing and what motivated me for freelancing was uh, basically two reasons. The first one was like I was learning Python and I was also doing like pursuing IT degree, which is similar to CS. If yeah, if you're from other country, like it's similar to CS, equivalent to CS. And I was doing that and I was learning Python on the side. But then like I wanted to understand what are the real world uses of Python. Like I'm learning the syntax and all, but what's the real world use? What are the people that are using Python? How are they using it in projects? How are they making money out of it? And how are they trying to provide value out of it? So that was the main reason, one of the first reasons that pursued me towards freelancing. I knew about freelancing, but then I was not like very much into that. So okay, I said like let's try and get into freelancing for getting that real world experience. And second point, obviously, money was also there. Like gaining some side income and some side income, like it will help me to like travel a little more, enjoy life a little more, and eat a little more with friends, and yeah, just spend some good time without worrying about the money. uh, so this was primarily the two main reasons which because of which I started freelancing. Over to you, Manjot.
Nice to hear your perspective on it. And next question is, what do you use to find clients? How are you finding or searching for projects?
Sure. So my main source through which I get clients is Upwork and Fiverr. Fiverr is also a little less. Upwork is more. But now that I have got remote job, I am also building SaaS products on the side. So I have reduced freelancing a little bit and focusing first on remote job, second on SaaS products, a little bit of content creation as well, and like I will be pursuing freelancing on the side. So yeah, that's what I'm currently doing right now. But yeah, majorly like through my freelancing career, Upwork and Fiverr have been the primary source.
Okay, seems like Vatsalya wants to say something. Vatsalya, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my question is to Swapnil is that like, could you please share some tips to manage time and workload if effectively as a college student who is doing freelancing and all? Like, I'm not into freelancing, but during my freshman years, I've tried my hands in freelancing, but I failed. I've tried my hands as a video editor, and I didn't got much clients on the platforms like Fiverr, Freelance, and even I've tried uh, to get clients like from Facebook groups and all, but I didn't got that much amount of clients from there, so I've got disappointed and stopped that. But if you answer this question, like I appreciate it.
Sure, with Salya. So yeah, answering your first question, like time management, I myself struggle a lot with time management as well. So I will be honest with that. But yeah, I'm always trying to like be consistent in my work, especially coding part, like building projects and SaaS products. And like if you are especially like you said you are in college, so while I myself started freelancing in college, I did not give any much importance to the college work. I did not attend the college. Attendance was like they say compulsory, but they did not punish me for not attending. So I did not attend it. But yeah, I appeared for the exams and I studied for the exams just 2 to 3 days before. But yeah, like, so if you have that advantage that you cannot attend the college and you are able to do things on the side, then you can take the advantage of that. But yeah, like, if you are not very like lucky about that, so you can attend the college, and on the side, when you come home or when you come on the flat, uh, you can spend like 2 hours for like coding and stuff. Like just 2 hours consistently can, or like definitely can pay off very much as well. So do that, and yeah, just spend some time and set your priorities. And like having a schedule, like you can set up a schedule for you that you follow. And also, like, not just coding, you also like enjoy a little bit on Saturdays and Sundays, so there is a bit balance between both life and work, which will help you, not which will prevent you from burning out. So that are some of the things I will suggest if you are looking to manage time. Second thing, answering your question about like getting clients from platforms like Upwork. So first of all, my main tip is like you have to understand how the platform works. Just like if you have just started out, just start exploring the platform more. uh, Go on and visit the platform, see like how the clients are posting the jobs, then what types of jobs they are posting, then what are the profiles that are present there, like the freelancers, the top rated freelancers over there, how much have they earned, and what are the things that you can learn from them if they are doing good. See all these things, and then after you have researched more, then start building up your profile. Then uh, create an eye catching profile, so you'll have to research a little bit more about that as well. You have to create a good overview, then and you have to create a great title and a good headshot photo, a professional headshot photo. And especially like second point is uh, pasting the projects, like adding those projects that the clients are looking to pay for. Add those projects to your profile. So like for example, if you are looking, if you have not yet built some projects, so go to the Upwork page, Upwork website, and see the types of projects that the clients are posting, and then build those similar types of projects by on your own, and then add those similar projects on your profile. So this will help you do two things, like it will help you build up your profile, and second thing is like when you start sending proposals, it will help you like convince the client that you are the best person for this specific job, because you have already done similar projects in the past. So do that, and then after you have added similar projects in the past, start researching on how to send good proposals. So this is an extra step on Upwork. So if you are preparing to get some clients through Fiverr, you do not even need to do the third step. You just build an eye-catching profile, eye-catching gig, and you will just leave it as it is, and the clients will come to you. You do not have to go to clients as it is Upwork. So do that with Fiverr. Now coming to Upwork, Upwork pays you high. Upwork gets you more high-paying clients. So there you have to research on how to send good proposals. So watch some YouTube videos, experiment more. There are some tips and tricks you can use to write good proposals. And like getting your first client is the hardest, but when you get your first client, you will now know like what are the things that work, and you can just repeat those steps to get more subsequent clients. So yeah, this will be my tip to uh, get your first client.
Yeah, yeah, Swapnil. So, yep, I've got my mistake that I've did. I've never like made such a good project, such as portfolio or something else to showcase myself for my work. And yeah, that's the mistake I've did to finding a client and all. So yeah, but like, can you please tell me like how can we decide our freelance rates and determine like pricing according to the market? Because when it comes to competition and all, like people are doing the work in such a cheaper rates, like people from Pakistan and Bangladesh as compared to here in India. So how can we like determine that? Like, can you please elaborate on it?
Sure, Vatsalya. That's a great question. First of all, yeah, I would like to add on to one point that you said, like you made the mistake and you realized. So I will say, like I myself have failed at the first time I tried freelancing, and the one who fails at freelancing, like there is always some mistake that we do, and we just need to improve it to start getting clients. So if you are not able to get clients the first time, you just have to realize that okay, it's not the end. You have to realize what mistake you made and you have to improve on that, and then you will be able to get the clients. So just that one point I wanted to add. Now getting to the pricing point, answer to that specific question. So when you are starting out, you can price a little bit low, but after you get your first 5-star feedback and you get some more, you start increasing your rates. Now you said about competition, like people are charging low rates. Do not worry about the competition, like specifically on platform like Upwork. People like who give, like they will complete the project in $5. Clients there are looking for high quality work and they just simply ignore those types of freelancers. They are looking for high quality freelancers, and if you are doing the work nicely, they are ready to pay you like much higher amount. I personally used to make like $300 to $600 for a work which got completed in 3 to 6 days, and sometimes even more. And now, like as a remote job that I've got through freelancing, I earn a much more amount per month basis. So do not worry about the competition, and just like there are some things, that tips that I will like I personally use to get that high paying clients or high priced clients. So getting those high priced clients, I will explain that. So getting those priced clients is like predicting the highest amount the client is able to give you. So do like how can you predict that the client will be able to give you $1,500, and you should not ask like just $500 or $200 for the client? So here are some things which can help you predict correctly. So the first thing, location of the client. If the client is from US, UK, or some Switzerland, Singapore, developed countries, so this type of clients are looking for high quality freelancers. And so for these types of clients, you have to provide quality work, plus you can charge a higher amount. Now second tip, check out the history of the client, like what has the client paid to other freelancers. Specifically on Upwork, you can check that through the history, previous history. And if you find that the client has paid like $500, $1,000, $2,000 or more, you can expect him to pay you around $500 to $1,000 as well. But if the client is paying like $5, $10 to other freelancers, you cannot expect him to pay much higher amount. So that's the second tip, like check out the previous history. Third tip is uh, like how much profit are you making him and how much time it is taking you to complete the project. Also, like another thing is seeing what the other top freelancers are charging people uh, on the platform. So you can check that by looking at freelancers history, freelancers profile, and charging a little bit lower than that or almost same than that is good. So you have to compete with the top freelancers and not the bottom freelancers. Ignore the $5 ones. You do not have to compete with them. You have to compete with the top freelancers, and you have to even go ahead than them. So focus on that, and I think you will do great. So yeah, I think, yeah. But also shout out to Eddie. Eddie is in the listener section. Eddie, if you want to come in and join us as a speaker, it will be great. But yeah, no force, no pressure on you.
Y- Yeah, so Swapnil, that's really helpful. Like quality matters a lot when it comes to freelancing. I've totally agreed. Like I keep that in mind in my next time. Like whenever I'm doing this freelance work. My next question and the last one is like, have you ever faced like hard times with your client? Could you please share your baddest experience with your clients? Like how did you deal that situation? Like when it comes to managing relations with your clients and all?
Wow, like that is an interesting question, and like it will be tough to say one experience because as a freelancer, I have worked with 70 plus clients and had such experience many times. So it will be tough to explain one experience. But yeah, I have to generalize. I have got clients who like say that who give like $500, but then they expect work of like $5,000 or $10,000, and like after you complete the basic works, they will ask for more. And so that type of clients are also there. Then one client was a little abusive client, so I just ended the contract as fast as possible. So even if the client behaves a little bit weird, you have to maintain your professionalism and uh, just like just stop working with him as soon as possible and end the contract. But yeah, still in that position you have to like prevent that bad feedback as well. So you have to maintain that kindness, your kindness, and end the contract as soon as possible. So yeah, as a freelancer you get this type of clients and you have to just learn how to deal with those.
Yeah, so thank you so much for answering my questions, Swapnil. I'm really grateful for it, and I'm such a huge fan of yours, Eddie. And congratulations to Manjot for having your first space and having Eddie on our stage. So yeah, thank you so much, Manjot, for providing the platform, and I'm really grateful for it. Thank you so much, all of you, for listening.
First of all, thank you so much, Vatsalya, for asking some very important questions. So we have almost got roadmap for freelancing from Swapnil. So over to Kiran now. She has been raising her hand to ask a question from very long. Over to you, Kiran.
Hi. Congratulations, Manjot. So hello. So my question is to both of you, Swapnil and Rajneesh. I'm just a student. Started off with front end like month and a half ago. Been doing great. I have been trying to build projects. I have couple projects in mind which I'm going to build, and with using the similar strategies Swapnil mentioned, looking out for potential like projects the clients would want. My question is that since I'm just a student, I do not have industry experience. So do you think that there is a, like, when you start off with freelancing and you are just actually building projects for a professional client, the lack of industry experience plays a role that you are not able to deliver as like great of a product they are expecting, and that would influence your career in future, like freelancing career in future?
So shall I answer this?
Sure,
Yeah,
Rajnish.
let me start. So this is a very genuine question, and this is definitely going to happen. And as if when someone is starting a freelancing, no one wants to demotivate someone, but I would like to say that it's important. I personally I worked for 1.5 year for a company in Java. I learned front end and I learned how that company works. But I didn't learn how they get the projects. So that was the drawback I had in that company. But I learned how to do a project and how to deploy a project. Because let's say you're good in HTML front end, you're good in jQuery, but you don't know how to uh, provide the end solution to the client in what format and where to put it and how to put it. So you will face these problems and you have to learn that quickly, or it can be yourself or through company experience. The benefit of company experience is that you will not only learn your skills, but you will also know how they are uh, trying to have the projects. And the question raised by Vatsalya, how to quote a client, how much to charge. When you work in a company, you, especially if you are working in a company which is less than 10 employees or 20 employees, in a small company you learn too much because everyone is connected with each other. You can go into SEO department, you can make friends in marketing department, you can have a casual conversation with them, and from that point you can see that how much is company charging for front end project. $10, $15. That way you gain confidence that I have done this in company at $15. Why can't I charge it as a freelancer from home? So I learned this personally when I, after 3 years, my freelancing failed. I took a PHP job for 3 months and I learned many tips from there. And then I started a company which have been working since 12 years. In just 3 months, I earned so much. I learned so much in 3 months that I was able to run a company for 10 to 12 years now. So that is an important experience because, but people, students mostly want to avoid the field, avoid the job directly because they think that freelancing is going too easy. But frankly, I have worked 12 to 14 hours. When I used to do first job, I used to work uh, 8 to 9 hours in the company and then at least 4 to 5 hours in the night up to 12 p.m. PM or 1 a.m. That was my natural uh, daily schedule, and I was learning frameworks in PHP and just trying new things like learning about server, how to host a website. So that's important. So if you are taking a step back, it doesn't mean you are losing something. Freelancing is something you can start any day, and so you don't see it as a negative thing just because you are stepping back, because stepping back will help you to gain a good perspective of management and quoting the clients, the budget of the projects, the timeline of the project, and so on. So just don't get demotivated with that aspect. Take it as a positive as well, because companies are paying a decent salary, so it's not a negative thing. So that's what I want to say on this.
Thank you, Rajneesh, for sharing your perspective. Now, moving on to Eddie. First of all, thank you so much, Eddie, for joining us. It's an honor to have you here. So, over to you now.
Thank you so much, everyone, for the amazing warm welcome. Really enjoying the space. Love listening to all the great tips. So many great tips. It's just been brilliant. You got the sound effects as well. Excellent. To be honest, because there were so many good tips in the last conversation, I actually forgotten the question. So if someone could remind me, but yeah, really, really
Yeah.
great tips. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, sir. So I was asking that I'm just a student. I do not have any industrial experience. So just if I just step into the world of freelancing without any industrial experience, do you think I'll struggle like with, as Rajesh was also pointing out, with deployment, with testing and other sort of like technicalities in addition to just language learning and providing a solution of whatever the language requires? So that gap you're going to suffer, and then it will affect the professionalism.
That's a great question. You're right. In addition to the code, there is so much, right? There's invoicing. People are going to want an invoice. You're going to have to think about accounts and potentially taxes, as well as the technical side, like you said, deployment, customer service. And customer service, I feel, is something that is always forgotten. So I'm a freelancer, but I also hire other freelancers. And one thing that I've noticed when hiring other freelancers is they really miss on the customer services side, and they might be a great coder, they might deliver a good project, but if you haven't got that communication, if you're not being kept up to date, or they're not doing what they say they're going to do in terms of timescales or keep the person up to date, then it's not going to work out no matter how great they are. So it is a whole package. There is a lot to learn. There is a deployment. You mentioned automated testing. It depends on the clients that you go for, because if you go for a client that is just wants a kind of, a 3 or 4 page static website and is really focused only on the design, then you could probably host it on, GitHub pages or something like that. Really straightforward. But whereas if they want, payment and other things, then now you've got to think about security, environment variables, and you probably want some automated testing, because every time you make a tweak, you can't go test everything in all the different situations and scenarios. But to be honest, I think to make more money, you want to work for the more technical clients. So the ones who maybe have a team, but they need an extra person because they've got a deadline in 3 months. I feel that's where you're going to make a lot more money. And that's what I found from my experience. But with those ones, they are going to want the automated testing. They are going to want you to understand, say, GitHub Actions or an alternative. They are going to want the whole, story pointing. Maybe you'll get involved in the team's kind of poker planning for the tickets and stuff like that. So there is a lot more to it. Coding becomes less, and the whole project becomes more. So, I mean, you can get a lot of that experience doing open source. I mean, and you knew I was all going to say that, right? Give us a reaction if you're going to. You can get like your communication will improve, your automation, your automated test, your project management, all that's going to improve. Maybe not the whole accounting side of doing an invoice and so forth, but I feel that's a smaller part and very much the same for every client. So that becomes, I think, once you've done it once or twice, it becomes very repeatable. I would say start small and build it up. I mean, you could always partner with somebody on a project, You could always say to someone, well, if you've got a project, I can help on this side of things, and you can learn from them. You could always take on a project that's maybe 20% outside your comfort zone, and you could get someone to come and help you with the project. Yes, you might make a little bit less money on that project, but you'll learn so much from the process and from the other person as well. There's so many different ways to do it. What I'd recommend is just to keep moving forward. And by what I mean by that is every project try to be a bit slightly like 10% slightly bigger. Bigger is very vague. I don't just necessarily mean in terms of the amount of code, but bigger. It's like, I suppose 10% outside your comfort zone is what I should say. And be part of these supportive communities that when you do have a question, you can get someone to help you and so forth. I think that's really, really important. But yeah, just keep moving forward. I think freelancing is growing. It's an amazing industry to be in. I got into it over 10 years ago, maybe 14 years ago, and I wouldn't change it for the world. It has been brilliant. But yeah, trying to get those higher paying roles, you want no more technical clients, and then those technical clients are going to want to see your open source contributions and other things you've done, not just code, how your documentation is, how your testing is, how your CI is, and all those sorts of things. So yeah, but that sounds great. It sounds like you're really doing really good, and keep us posted on how it all goes. It sounds super exciting.
And thank you so much, Eddie, for your insights on this question. So before moving ahead, I want to say that because there I can add only 10 speakers at a time. So if you have asked your question, you can rejoin as a listener and give others the chance to ask. And others can send me the request. I'll accept it as soon as I have the spots available. So let's move on to Kritarth now. You
Yeah.
can go ahead and ask your question.
So my question is related to like getting a high paying remote job uh, from US based companies. So I've been doing software engineering since last 3 years, and I'm applying to US based remote jobs, but I'm getting rejected. So is there anything that I'm doing wrong, or how can I get that opportunity?
Uh, so should I go on this
Yeah,
answer?
please.
Sure. I think there's some noise. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, I recently got a remote job through freelancing itself. So I think I can answer a little bit on this. Uh, I will say like there are various ways you can get remote job. First focus should always be learning and upskilling and trying to like just yeah build projects and work with different clients. Like if you're freelancing or like open source is a great way to get remote jobs as well. Like many people have got remote jobs through that, and Eddie will be able to also add to this. Open source, like I have seen so many developers. I personally got it through freelancing. Also, I want to add a little bit on the previous question. uh, like some fields definitely require you some experience. Like it will help you if you have some experience doing a job in some specific fields. I personally did not get started with a job. It was a little opposite for me. I started with freelancing, and that helped me get a remote job. So uh, so the journey will depend like will differentiate like on your like from people to people. So do not worry about like experience and all. If you have some similar projects, uh, like as I said, like which clients are looking to pay for, then you can get started with freelancing. Like specifically invoicing all and all of the stuff, like platforms like Upwork and Fiverr are really good, which take care of all of this invoicing stuff, then feedback and all of the stuff. But yeah, like having an experience definitely helps. But do not like let that stop you from, like if you do not have an
Actually,
experience, you can get
I
started
do
with
have an
freelancing.
experience,
Yeah.
but I have been working as software since last 3 years. But it's tough to leave software engineering, a full time job, and start freelancing. So I'm looking for some like remote, high paying US based jobs. Uh, so that for that, like you mentioned, open source like I tried open source, but I need to find those open source projects that where if I contribute, I may get a job. So, where can I see that kind of open source projects? If anyone knows.
So I personally am not an expert at open source. I do not do much of open source, but yeah, I think like if anyone can add on that, uh, Rajnish or Shahid, then yeah, it would be helpful.
I just want to say one thing, because I haven't got a remote job like this. My client have hired me for 3 4 years. That's one thing. They have hired me on a month. They are paying me weekly on a decent monthly price, and I was able to do freelancing along with it. So that is the way Swapnil said is right. He had his own journey, and everyone has on will find his own journey. The thing to understand is that you can't judge anything that we will do this and this will happen. So I started initially. I tried more than 3 4 things like web hosting, selling web hosting, and so on. I even started blogging. Nothing worked. So, but with when I purchased web hosting to sell web hosting, that helped me to learn the server, and that again helped me in the freelancing business. So we cannot decide, f- uh, uh, and in advance we cannot judge this. So if we talk about finding remote jobs or freelancing, this is like a continuous process. You have to place proposals on the platforms like Upwork. You have to, for remote jobs, you have to find the sources. If even if you go into open source collaboration, it doesn't guarantee you will get a remote job, because we are randomly trying different things, and we may happens to come in we may happen to come into eyes of any client. Some client will find us. All the open source collaboration and using Twitter or placing proposal, the all these sources are helping us to just come into the light of any client can find us. So we can't judge anything that we will go with this route and we will find it. So that's what I can say on this. So this is a continuous process. We have to keep trying.
Uh, Yeah, that's so true. I also want to add one thing to it. Like exactly as Rajnish said, like there is no perfect roadmap that one can give you. Like do this and you will 100% land a remote job. You have to do things like that you personally love, and then along with that, you may find some certain opportunities if you do it consistently. Like let's say freelancing, you do freelancing consistently, you may land remote jobs, or you may land even like better opportunities than that. You may do open source, you may land amazing opportunities. Remote job is one of them, freelancing is also the. You may get some speaker invitations on through in different countries. So spend like dedicate some time to do these extra things and see the things that you personally love. It may be freelancing, it may be SaaS products. Like let's say like you are trying to like you can do the like do things that you personally love, explore as many things as possible, and do it consistently. Like if you build SaaS products consistently, like you will leave remote job and you will say like this is much better, and you will be earning like much more than what remote job people are earning. So things depend on you, and just try dedicate some try taking out some squeezing out some time out of your full-time work and do things on this side. Like just 2 hours a day, like you can at least like squeeze some 2 hours, like 2 hours a day, and that may help you land some great opportunity which may even replace full-time job that you're currently doing. So yeah, what I wanted to
Yeah,
add to.
but it's like difficult to manage a full-time job along with a freelance project. I tried that, but it didn't work. Like client is not satisfied, so I ended up doing that. Uh,
Sure. I got the question. So currently, I am also working full time remotely. So my schedule looks like I get up at 7 to 8 a.m. Then work 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours on my SaaS product, second SaaS product. My first SaaS product failed. Second SaaS product has got like 7 sales, so it has some potentials. I'm working on that. Then I start working on my remote job 11 to 5 to 6, and then like after 6, maybe 1 hour for Twitter content creation, and after like till from 7 to then until I sleep, I just dedicate that time for my family or my friends. And on Saturdays, on Sundays, I take a little bit easy. So I think like I am also like, yeah, you have to work a little bit harder than others, but then it depends on your priorities. Like, do you want to actually achieve it? Like, do you want to get those remote jobs? Do you want to succeed at SaaS products? And many people have done this already. Like, many people have had full-time jobs, they build something on side. Like, I can give you an example. Alex West is there, then Simon Hoiberg is there. So many people who have done this alongside their job, and they left their job later, and then like it became big, and then that's how they got started. So yeah, you just have to set your priorities, you have to squeeze out some time, and yeah, you can succeed that way.
So before moving ahead, I want to ask a question that suppose a student is just starting web development, the person is just starting his or her journey, and at what point he or she should start freelancing, like after learning HTML, CSS in web development, just start with
I think
JavaScript.
after having like 2 years of industry experience.
Sure, like yeah, I will add on to this too. So I personally think people have like, if you see examples, like I like to see examples of what people are doing, and if they have succeeded that way. I have seen some people earn through HTML, CSS skills, just HTML and CSS skills too. I can again name some of these people, but you can see this on Twitter too. People are earning through just HTML and CSS. So, but yeah, again, that comes with a certain line and exception. Like, not everyone is able to do it. And, but yeah, if you are able to do it, if you are that one person too, then it can change your life. So why not like dedicate just some time? Like, if you are like, let's say today you are dedicating like 7 to 8 hours for learning, learn for 7 hours or 6 hours, and dedicate that extra 10 or 20% of time for looking out the opportunities. Like, now I have learned HTML and CSS, like first to 2 to 3 months you can spend on learning and exploring different things, but after that try spending some extra time, your free time, in looking out for opportunities. Let's say like you have now learned CSS, SCSS. What are the things, like how you can monetize those just HTML and CSS skills? The answer is you can build out templates, static templates, and then sell those on uh, websites, marketplaces like HTML Rev is there, and different marketplace you can sell it on those. Then other thing is, other opportunity you can do is convert the HTML like Figma components into static websites, HTML and CSS, and you can deliver those service on Fiverr or Upwork. Now again, competition is much higher in this, and you will have to create great projects on your own first, and then start trying to monetize those skills. But then this does not stop you from learning. You will gain, like, even if you fail at that specific thing, you are not able to monetize the CSS skills, you are still learning like how to send good proposals, how to create good profile, and you will succeed later. Like, you have already some experience, and that will help you. Like, after you learn JavaScript, you try it again, try to monetize those skills, use create templates and sell those on HTML Rev. So do these things on side, and you never know like which path you might get success on. So never stop trying, even like after learning one skill. Also, one example, specific example on this is like, I learned Python, and I just did one course like Beautiful Soup first thing, and I found out like there is very people are posting lots of data extraction related projects on the platform. So I have now become an expert at it. I can now, like, I have learned Beautiful Soup, I can start making projects, client projects, and start earning money. But when I started applying, I got a client and he said that complete this sample work, and if you are able to do this sample work, we will give you the project. But then I was not able to complete that sample work, and the reason was because I still lacked those basic skills. Like, the skills that I had were just some basic. And from there on, I came to know that okay, I have to study more now. Like, I have to learn Scrappy, Splash, and Selenium. Then I went on to learn those Scrappy, Splash, and Selenium, came back to the platform, and landed my first client, and that's how I actually got started. So keep trying on the side, and you will learn things on the side from that failures as well. So never stop trying and keep learning and upskilling.
Hey
Okay, now
there. I just raised my hand up. It's okay. Hi, Manjo. Hi, Swapni. I think that was. Thanks for having me. I was drawn to this space because I saw getting started with freelancing. I was self-employed, or still am, since over 25 years, and I think I have a 1 or 2 cents on that. So everything that Swapnil said is absolutely true. Now, what a lot of people do not understand is that self-employment or freelancing is a road to freedom. It can be, but make no mistake, you don't have one boss, you have many. Like every single one of your customers is like your boss, basically. So you got to think about a lot of things. You got to do your taxes. You got to get your business way in order. Of course, you got to excel at whatever your skill is, whether it be programming or copywriting or designing or whatever. You got to build up a portfolio. And there's many, many ways outside of Upwork or Fiverr where you can sell your services. Now, a good tip also is to look for clients where you think they might not be. Like if you're here on X and you search around, you will come upon communities that have ideas and plans, but they lack the programming skills, for instance. So that is a good way to attract clients and approach them. So what you should have is a really good portfolio with which you can like showcase your skills and show off with them. That is my 2 cents. And trust me, if you want to make it in freelancing, you need a lot of legwork. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm going to do freelancing and next week I'm going to be a millionaire. I wish it were that way. But in time, it's good because every client you build up is going to be a future client. And the best way to do that is to build a relationship. You got to see what the client needs, build a relationship, check your portfolio if you can deliver that what the client needs. And if then you do a good job, then you got a great opportunity to carry on working with them. And then one comes to the other, you get your first good review, then you get your second one and your third one. And think out of the box. The next client for your freelance work might be just around the corner of your town. It doesn't have to be on the other side of the world. Well, thank you for letting me speak. I just wanted to drop my 2 cents. If you have any questions, I'm right here.
thank you so much, Olaf, for your views on the topic, and we are glad to have you here. So, before moving on to Siddharth's question, I want to draw everyone's attention to one. There's one question in the comment. It's a bit off topic, but let's answer it. If anyone wants to, they can. The question is from Vikram Mehra. He's writing, starting from for full stack, which course has good content? So, if anyone wants to answer, can go ahead.
Sure, I can answer this. So, good courses like on specifically like two platforms that people usually love is Udemy and YouTube. If you are looking for free courses, you can check out Free Code Camp. Then Brad Traversy courses are also great, so do that as well. And but yeah, if you're looking for like paid courses, then Udemy is a great platform that I personally love. And there are great teachers like Jonas Kimmett. His surname is a little bit difficult, but yeah, Jonas Kimmett, man. If I pronounce that correctly. And second is Maximilian's. His surname is also difficult, but yeah, Maximilian is there. And these two teachers are like great for has some great courses on web development, like Jonas CSS courses and JavaScript courses are great. Also, he's created React now, and like also like if you are looking for building SaaS products, like because like full stack development, if you are learning full stack development, one of the great opportunities or like side income that you can create is from SaaS products. And for that, like you can spend like uh, you learn React, JavaScript, CSS, and jump on to like AWS serverless, Node.js Express. And after you learn, if after you spend some times and build some projects on your own, you can get started with building some SaaS projects as well. So yeah, you can follow that.
I hope you got your answer. So, let's move on to Siddharth now. You can go ahead and ask.
Hi, my question is to Rajneesh, okay? Hi, Rajneesh, how are you?
Yeah, I'm do good. I hope you are good as well.
Yeah, I'm absolutely good. Rajneesh, just one thing that I wanted to ask you is that since I'm listening to Swapnil has a lot of experience in how to get a remote job, right? But you seems like very satisfied with Upwork or the side hustles that you are doing or the particular work that clients are giving you. So both of you have different perspectives. That is absolutely there. Now, Rajnish, from you, I want to know that if what guidance will you give to somebody who is just starting with HTML? How much time will it take for him to get short gigs from Upwork or any other platform? Matlab, what is the time period? Assuming that the person is happily invested, assuming that the person is giving like 5-6 hours for the learning, what timeline do you create in your mind that okay, let's imagine in a different way. Let's say I come to Rajnish and I say to Rajnish that, hi Rajnish, I want to join you. I want to join you as an intern. In how much time will you make me prepare so that I can go to websites like Upwork and start freelancing?
So, so you are asking that, uh, first of all, you are asking how much time you will take to learn the HTML and become ready to start a freelancing work in
I
HTML,
mean, not
right?
just HTML. I mean, whatever is included
Whatever.
to get me started on Upwork.
Okay. So, first of all, I always feel that whatever skill you have to understand what final product client will demand from you. If you are a HTML developer, for an example, if you are HTML, you are working on front end, you know HTML, CSS. So you have to understand if you are going to provide HTML, CSS to a client, is it going to be let's say a project on a framework like Magento, WordPress, or something? Because every framework have a kind of uh, different structure. And if you create a HTML, because when you give it, HTML is going to be used by a developer, and you have to think from that perspective. I'm talking about the end product. So developer can point out many mistakes in your HTML. So you have to gain that end product experience, because when you are doing a freelancing, you have to give a solution which finally works for the client. If it have a bug, or it is having too many bugs, and it is, let's say, it's not responsive and there are too many issues, then client is not going to pay you at all. Because in freelancing, it doesn't client doesn't pay. See, it is very simple as that. So when you are approaching a freelancing, you have to find an intern who can guide you in this. Because when we do a internship, we are completing a particular skill. We are mainly focused on theory, learning how to code, or how to uh, do something basic stuffs, or maybe some advanced stuffs, but we are not learning what the client demand is. So if you are doing a internship, you have to make sure that you are working with someone who knows how to approach a client, and what the client is going to demand from you. So whatever skill you have to know, understand what the end product you have to give to your clients. So that is what I think you should uh, take care of when you are starting this journey. What kind
Mhm.
of end product is going to be? So that should be your key point in understanding and finding a proper internship for yourself.
Perfect, perfect. Rajesh, what timeline do you consider that? Matlab, what is the timeline if
Yet
imagining that?
timeline, yet to be ready for a particular, this is a very, like, if I ask answer this in a general way, it depends
Mhm.
upon a skill. It depends upon a skill you are trying to familiar with. And it also depends upon how much you like that technology. Like I have
So,
worked for 1 year, 1.5 year, I worked on front end job of integrating HTML, CSS, jQuery, JavaScript, and sometimes Java programming. But I did that job. I didn't like that work.
Mhm.
So sometimes it happens. So it depends upon the skills you have taken up. if I talk about, if you can tell me specific skill you are looking for, then I can give you a rough estimate how you can get perfect into it. For an
So
example,
what?
let me give you an example. I hired
Hmm.
a one person, one student came to my company for a job in PHP. My company was in PHP. He came for a job. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what PHP is. I asked him to. I suggested him that you are not ready for doing any development because you don't know even a about the development. He was not a BTech student. He was just a BCA, and he was from village. So
Okay.
I suggested him to learn front end. That is, do a course and learn the front end frameworks like WordPress and like Shopify, and try to learn them how they work, learn HTML, CSS, and so on. And he came back to me after 3 months. I hired him as intern for next 6 months on very low salary because he doesn't know anything, and even my company was not at that level at that point of time. But now he's earning a good amount of money based on his skills. It took him at least, I consider him as one of the best front end developer at the moment, uh, because of his skills he has developed over the time, and I think he became perfect in about 1.5 year. I'm talking about perfection in various frameworks.
Mhm.
Learning HTML CSS can be done in 3 months or 6 months, 3 month maximum.
Which
But
he already did, correct.
but
And then
to be
came to join
but
you as an intern. Yes.
sorry,
Which he already did and came to you as an intern.
actually I hired him as a fresher, kind of fresher. He came to me for job. I told him I can't give you job because you don't have any skills, you have to do a particular course. Then he came back to me and he reminded me that you told me to do that. So I then suggested him, okay, I will hire you as a fresher and we will train you. And that's how we started working. And
Thanks, Rajesh.
so,
Rajesh, I think you have given a very realistic picture. So what I
yeah,
got from it is you at least need 1.5 year of proper rigorous training to just get the projects doing.
actually he became a permanent employee of the company within 3 months. I'm talking about he learned the front end in 6 months, but to be perfection by perfection, I mean that you send him an email and he will execute it fully and he will also reply you back. So you don't have to manage the client. So he will reply you in a way that you can forward that email directly to client without reading it. So he became so much perfect that he can manage your project from beginning to customization, like a customer service, after customer service. So he became so much perfect in front end. So that's what I'm talking about. In 1.5 year or so he became perfect.
Thanks, Rajneesh. Thank you so much for answering this. I think
Yeah, no,
this
no
is
problem.
very clear. Six month is what is needed to get your hands on, and almost we can take a realistic timeline of like 1 year or 1.5 year to just
Yeah,
really to just really become a independent freelancer. Super,
yeah.
super.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
thing that I would like to add is what Swapnil has been talking consistently about, learning, giving 2 hours to something extra, which is, let's say you are at stage one and you can see that I can do up to this, and I know there is next step. So you have to give 2 hours, 1 or 2 hours daily to take a next step, and you don't know next step will come at what time the next step will knock your door. So you have to be ready for that. You don't know when you get a new client or a new company with a new task. So if you are ready for that in advance, this is a key point. There are developers who will struggle for 5 years to reach somewhere, and there are developers who will do that in 1.5 year or 2 years because they are taking extra couple of hours. I always say one thing to developer: you work hard 2 hours, 2 years. If you give 2 years, you work hard for 10 hours, 12 hours for 2 years, and you are free for 15 years. That's why I always say, because your mind will become so much sharp that you will be able to adjust with new technologies. You will once you have a habit of learning something, like Swapnil is saying again, you will find it so easy to switch from one technology to another, that you will if you will get used to it, because with time technology is getting easier. When I started as a Java developer, I was fed
Hmm.
up with reading so many big size books in Java. So that's why I selected PHP. But in today's time, you have JS framework, and any PHP developer or any developer who knows coding can switch to any JS framework within 3 to 6 months. And he can be React developer, he can be Node.js developer very easily in 6 months. So technology is becoming easy day by day.
Thanks,
So
Rajnish. Thank you so much.
so
Thank you so
yeah.
much. And Rajnish, I have two, three more questions, but I'll for everyone's benefit, I'll be DMing you a few questions. If you clear that out, will be very helpful for you. Will be very helpful of you.
Yeah, you can contact me as you want. You can contact me. I am open for that, because I am on Twitter, because I don't use Twitter. I don't use social media. I
Okay.
installed the I installed Twitter today for the call. Otherwise, I
So
used in the browser.
where to connect you then?
You connect with me. I am today now these days I am active on Twitter, so you can connect me here, and then we can share other details for connecting with each other.
Done, Rajnish. Thank you so
I
much,
I
Rajnish.
can share
Yeah,
other details
Swapnil.
with you. Yeah.
Yes, Swapnil, you was please go ahead. I'm going on mute. And Manjot, I'll be moving to a listener. I'll be moving to listener only. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Siddharth, for asking questions and asking more value to this space. I think Naveen wants to ask something. He had been raising his hand. Naveen, you can go ahead.
Hi Manjot, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Hi all listeners. Actually, I'm not from this background. Actually, I'm from a networking background. So I'm just asking to do we have any freelancing job in this networking field? Because I'm new to this. I have just done CCNA, and before this, I was in BPO job. So I just moved to this networking field. So I'm just looking for that particular guidance in this field. So, if anyone could please answer me about this, so I'll be thankful for him.
I will just take 2 3 minutes, less than 2 minutes. The first question, that there are freelancing job. I will say there are lots of job in networking. I have a friend.
Okay.
He's not my actual friend, but I have seen that person doing a freelancing for, I think, at least 8 to 10 years. He is from Himachal, and he's doing for work from home since long. And
Mhm.
he does a remote job through his PC. He is providing support to his clients, and he works through Upwork. So I can only answer that this is possible in networking as well, not only in coding. So that's what I want to say.
That's great. So somehow, can I connect with him so that he can help me out
Yeah,
further?
I will call him. If you want, I can call him, and I will try to. First of all, I will ask what he is doing these days, and then I will uh, definitely
That's great.
let you both of you talk. So you can message me
I'll do that.
in the yeah.
Like,
So
I'll
I think Swapnil have something in detail about this. I don't have much of the details, but
yes.
Swapnil will add. Yeah. Okay.
Sanjeev, please, Apnil, if you have something, please help me out with
Uh,
this.
sure. I think Rajnish answered it pretty much nicely. Yeah, like there are a lot of jobs, freelancing jobs in different niches. So
Hmm.
specifically, if you yeah, you can get connected with like-minded individuals who are already doing stuff in this specific field. Also, like you can check the types of jobs that are being posted on Upwork for your specific niche, and see the types of projects that are being posted, and know more about this and get started that way as well. So yeah, there are different ways, and there are always projects in different fields. And sometimes, like if the niche that you are currently in, and there are not enough projects, then you can move to the next part, next level of that specific field itself, like getting expertise in some specific thing. some specific skill, and then try getting some projects through that, or getting a job as well. So yeah, you can try it out and yeah, see which one works.
Yes, correct. Correctly said. Actually, from the past few days, I was, active on these job seeking platforms like Naukri, Apna. I've been searching on that, but I didn't get that much. So I just see this, space going on. So I joined it. So anyone else? Okay, all right, no issue. Thank you so much, Manjot. That's all I wanted to ask.
I hope you got your answer, Naveen. Thanks for
Yes,
asking
yes,
this
I
up.
got. I got it. Thank you so much.
And there's one more question in the comments, which asks that what challenges can a beginner in freelancing can anticipate while getting familiar with the market. So, what would you like to say about it, Swapnil and Rajneesh?
Sure. So yeah, I will try to quickly answer this. So like there are different challenges that you can face. Like there are different types of clients. Sometimes you may get not so good clients to work with. So that's a challenge that you have to face. And second thing is like some clients like expect a lot of work and pay you little less. And you have already accepted the project, so you have to complete it now so that like you get a good feedback, and you cannot deny some of the requests. But yeah, like through all these processes and through all these challenges, like sometimes also like the projects are too much complex. I personally like to take complex projects because for various reasons, like they pay higher. Second is like you get a lot of learnings and yeah, experience. And third is like there is not much competition in that specific complex types of projects. But then you take on that complex projects and then it gets a little bit difficult to complete that. And even sometimes like you think like you can complete this project, but then you get other challenges like bugs and problems in the like while developing the project, on which like you get stuck for sometimes even days and long period of time. And that are some of the challenges like which increases the stress as a freelancer. And there are deadlines, like deadline is another challenge. So like freelancing is filled with challenges. And but yeah, like still after facing these challenges and after going through these challenges, I will say still freelancing is much worth it, because of the advantages also that it offers. Like it pays you, like you are living in India and you pay much higher amount than what the jobs are providing. And so many other advantages like freedom, you can work from anywhere you want. And so this all challenges, even if there are challenges, freelancing is still worth it. And after you face these challenges, like it just makes you stronger. Like each challenge, like there is one way to solve that specific challenge. So they make you stronger, and it is considered an experience itself. So do not fear of challenges. It's like just a learning process and you will grow much more. That's what I will add. Over to you, Rajneesh and Manjot.
Yeah, I agree with Swapnil. And in freelancing, as I said like before, that for 2 years, the biggest thing to know about this freelancing is, especially when you are starting early, even if you are doing a job, I will say the coding or this technical line is something like it is built something in a way that you will find every week you will find something new is coming in. So even for after working 2 years, you will keep finding that, oh, now something new has again came up and you have to find a solution for that. So challenge is going to happen in job as well as freelancing. It become more challenge because you don't have anyone to support you, and that way it become more difficult. And thus another challenge that I would like to talk about from different perspective, as a developer or whatever skill you have, you know the skills but you don't know how to market it. So that becomes a another challenge for a person who is starting new, that how will I send proposal, how many should I send, are two proposal enough for a day or I have to send more. And because proposals, if we talk about Upwork, they are paid. So this makes this challenges keeps on adding up. So this is a, you have to accept the challenges, and there is no way we can get out of it. Even I don't have, because of my experience, I can find a solution for my client problem, and I can even say no to my client, because I can say that no, this is not possible because this particular company doesn't have this uh, API support, or doesn't provide this content or data to us, so we can't do this. So I, because of my experience, I can even say no. But at initial level, you can't, you are not at that stage you can say no to client. And one point that Swapnil was saying, that client will overcharge you, over will make you work over, more than they are paying you, because and you don't know how to stop that client in that point. But because I have experience, when clients start sending me new work, first of all, I don't, if it is a task of 1 hour or 2 hour, I don't say anything. I will simply say that I think this is additional, but I will do it for you. I will start saying that. I will not let the client keep giving me so many things. I will start pointing out those extra things. After doing one or two, I will then start charging him. I will ask them, I will ask the client to pay me more. He will be charged for that. So that all these things will be gained by experience, and that way you can grow. So you have to accept the challenges and move forward. So that's what I would like to add.
Olaf, you
Uh,
can also add your bit to it. Go ahead. Am I audible?
yes, Manjot, you're
I'm
audible.
sorry, this was my mistake. Yes, thank you. I think this question about the challenges is really, really important, because when you start this journey on becoming a freelancer, you're building basically your own company. There is no time schedule. You have to do it on your own. There is nobody who shows you what to do. You got to do it on your own. And like Rajneesh said, you got to be your own marketer. You got to be your own designer. And there's so many things that you will have to overcome as a challenge. But also, like my speakers before me said, it can be learned. I mean, you learn to code, you learn to read, to ride a bike. You can also learn those skills. But there are much, 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 and many more challenges that one would think. Like, I think a very important one is time management. Now, especially like some of you said that they are doing a 9 to 5 and they want to build up their business on the side. Now, this is very, very challenging because you might have family obligations, a private life, and the danger of burnout is real. It happens. And we take so much on us and so many burdens, and then we can't cope with them. Now, then what about how to differentiate your services from the others? Now, how do you stand out in this crowd of freelancers? That's a huge challenge, to like really make your own work stand out in your personality, and finding a way to reach the client with that. And then you have to think about mundane things like, how do you write your invoices? What is your pricing going to be? When do you know that you find the right price? So I think there's a lot of things to address, and it is a process that must not be taken lightly. Yes, it can be done. Yes, it's not for everybody. And yes, the rewards can be huge. But there are more and more challenges on the way than one thinks. Just, make sure that you are aware of that. Make a list of all those things. Don't let anything out. Build a roadmap like you would do for a project, If you know that you have to develop a certain set of things for the client, and just go about it the same way with your own freelancing businesses. Make a checklist and really make sure that you don't forget anything. And in the beginning, yeah, you might make mistakes, but that's what we learn from. And then you get better at it. And then those challenges become things that you're going to be proud of. And you're going to look back and say, I managed it. I did it.
Thanks, Olaf, for your words. Anyone else want to ask question can go ahead. Then we'll wrap up by asking one or two questions that are left.
Can I ask questions?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be speaking, asking questions. Uh, and thank you, Manjot, for hosting this amazing space. So I have three questions, one in general and two in specific, one from Swapnil and the third one from Olive. So my first question is, how did you guys get your first client, and from where did you find them? And freelancing.
Sure, Shahid. So yeah, answering your first question, I personally got it through Upwork. My first project was like it paid me like around $18 and it went on for like 14 days. So it was like for long duration and it was a little complicated project. But then like after that, I got my first 5-star feedback, and then from there on, I started increasing the prices and my rates. So yeah, that's how I got started. Uh, yeah.
What was your experience? Can you say about that?
I was a college student, like first year, second sem. So at the end of first year, I started freelancing, and from there on, I just like I did not have any experience. I just built similar projects to what clients were looking to pay for, and I added to those profiles. And in my job proposals as well, I mentioned those specific projects that I have created, and that helped me convince that I can do their projects as well, the client projects as well. And yeah, that's how I just got
Okay.
started.
Rajneesh, can you add your 2 cents? Are you
Yeah,
listening
sure.
me?
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
I was on mute. So I think getting started. So firstly, if you are doing it from the beginning, then you have to. I will suggest to keep your stress low. You should aim for a very minimum target and give more time to learning. Whatever you skill have, try to analyze the sources like Upwork, Fiverr. Let's say you have particular skill, let's analyze what client are posting in that skill. And if they are posting in that skill, let's say you have a node.js skill, search node.js on Fiverr and Upwork or any other platform you like, and see how many projects are posted in a day, and different and then compare it with other skills that you have inside like in parallel you have 2 3 skills. Then compare all of them and try to merge and see how much popular your skill is, and then go to the proposal, then go to those jobs and see how much that client is paying. Because when you open a job, you will find a client history, and from that you can get an idea how much client have paid to similar jobs. If they have paid $10, $15, so
Okay.
you will find that on a same kind of job, some client is paying only $10 because they are looking for a low cost uh, people, freelancers, and some are paying for same job, they are paying higher $15 or 20, because they are hiring some more experts, more experienced people. So you have to turn yourself from $10, $12 to $20 or $40 based on your current country currency. You have to adjust according to that. And what Swapnil has said, that you have to start from low rate to high rate and you have to go on. So
Okay.
you have to see what client are posting and how much they are paying.
Okay.
And that way. And one thing I want to just last thing, because that thing I was thinking to speak about, but that question is not asked. When you're starting early, well, you let's say you are not able to find any client through Upwork or Fiverr. Let's assume that. Let's you don't find any client in 2 months. I will suggest you find a client by any mean, and if that client is happy with you on first project, he might be from any source, from Twitter or somewhere. Ask that client to hire you second time on Upwork or Fiverr, just to have an review. When you bring a new client to Upwork, you do not pay any percentage to Upwork, because referring a client is free on Upwork. So you also save 10. And that way, because your client is already happy with you, you have done one project with him directly. Now he will pay you through Upwork and you will start gaining reviews. I have gained tens of reviews initially from my direct clients when I was new on Odesk. Odesk was Upwork now. Odesk is in Upwork now. So one client helped me gain 8 reviews on Upwork, 8 to 10 reviews, and that way my freelancing started.
Okay, thank you, Anish. Can I ask from Swapnil, which is like a SaaS product? How did you come up with the idea for your SaaS product, and what observation led you to believe it will work, and how do you measure it will work in a market? How do
Uh,
you
sure, sure. Thanks for asking that question, Tasbi. Is it Tasbi, right?
Yes, Tasbihullah, I'm from
Perfect.
Pakistan, so
Perfect, perfect. So yeah, SaaS product. Yeah, answering your question, SaaS product is a software as a service. Uh, like, did you ask for introduction or like how to build SaaS products,
yes,
like ideas, right?
yes. From where did you get idea,
Okay,
and how
perfect.
how did you observe it will work? Yes.
So yeah, I like to get my ideas from like cu- maybe a little current products and from what I'm doing every day, like solving my own itch. If I see like some product, I can make some even a better product than that, and then I will think like how I can make it better and will people buy it. Like the first product, Tromodoro, there is an already a Pomodoro product in the market which is earning like $2,000 MRR. So I thought like this is still inefficient for me and it's not working good. I can add more features to it and I can make it a little bit customizable. I can add more timers to it, and also like I like listening to music while I am coding, like Spotify or YouTube. So why not create a an advanced version of Pomodoro where you can, if when you start a timer, it will automatically start music on the side in the app itself. Plus, like I was also using website blocker, so why not add a website blocker in the app itself, which will like I do not have to go to use the 3 different products for like increasing the productivity. I can just build it in one product itself, and that's when Tromodoro was born. And I launched it on Twitter. People liked it, but now see that like no one knows which product will work good and which product will people pay for, and that's what happened. Like people are using the product, like the free version, but people are not paying for the product. It's a nice to have product, but it's not solving a big problem. So that's the thing that I learned from my first product. You can say that it failed, and that's when I thought of my second product. Like now when I build my second product, it should solve some problem, like good problem, and people should be ready to pay for it. And I was doing data extraction stuff from like 2 to 3 years. So I thought like why not build a tool that can help you extract data from any website with AI. And that's when Gato data was born. And it's a problem, like people require data. It's a problem. And without like data, they cannot do analysis on some certain stuff. They cannot do like business related stuff. So it's a actual need in the market. And there are already products that are earning huge from this. So I built a product in that. Gato data was born. And first of all, I validated like will this work, can I extract data from any website with AI. And after like working on it for a few days, and I just validated okay this works, and I went on to build it more, and I launched an MVP, or instead of MVP you can say MLP, minimum lovable product. What are the minimum amount of features you would require, you can add in the product which will make people buy that specific tool from you. So I just added that minimum tools and I launched it. uh, and I did not get sales when I started, but then when I launched it on Product Hunt, I got some sales, like 7 sales until now. So still this is not very huge, but this is a still small validation that I have got. And this app has some validation, but still I will keep building products on the side, and I will keep scaling this app and marketing it more, so that I can check if it's if this product can make it big. And yeah, that's how you can start as well. Like learn from your failures, and like there are people like solopreneurs who have got success on like 21st product, 22nd product, and not just first, second, third product, and they have learned from each of their experiences. So keep building products from what you like, from your ideas, and you will learn things along the way, and you can do it that way. Also, like sorry for interruption, I have to go now for dinner. It was amazing chatting with you all, and
Thank
thank you,
you.
Manjot, for inviting me. And it
Thank you.
was
Thank you so
amazing.
much.
Yeah, thank you, Rajnish. Thank you, Olaf. Thank you, Tasbi, and everyone. Bye. Have a great day.
Okay, I have one question from Olive. Uh, Olive, you know the art of selling, okay? Do you have any tip for developer like me, how to find client on LinkedIn and who will be my potential client and how to approach them effectively?
Yeah, that's a good question. Smart move. Like,
Thank you.
what about I send you clients this time? No, I think the most important thing is networking. Now, I think here on this space, like me, I'm not a developer. Obviously, I come from sales, marketing. I have a completely different background. I'm a bit older,
Okay.
also. I'm a bit over 20, so I'm a bit more old school. And your question that you asked, like how you found your first or got your first client, it got me thinking. And my very first client as a freelancer was for a sales job, and it was more of less like a coincidence because I was offered a sales job, actually 9 to 5 job. And I said, well, what are you going to pay, and what product do you sell? And they explained it to me, and I just offered them a counter offer. And I said, look, I'm going to do the same work, but I'm only going to work on commission. But per sale, I want that and that much commission. And they said yes, because they had nothing to lose. And they had even less risk because they didn't have to employ me. So that got me thinking. But coming back to your question, now how to find clients. Of course, there is what the other speakers already mentioned. These days, you have this amazing ability, especially if you're a developer, a skill that you can do from your computer, to sell your work on upsell and make yourself a name as a freelancer, because there you also have all the reviews directly there, so that you build social proof. Now, if you want to do that outside of that, it's going to be a bit harder, but it might be more rewarding. Now, what you have to do in that case, and wait, that's Tashbi, is to be a bit creative. Now, I like to think of X as a huge, like, imagine a town with a lot of marketplaces, with thousands of marketplaces. There's a niche for basically anything. And lately, when I was like, spending my evening, I was jumping around and I found this group that were having a space, and they were middle-aged teachers who were all Orlando Bloom movie fans. I mean, I want to get to a point. The point is that this might sound funny and say, well, what do they're not going to need my services. But as I said before, there are other groups and niches that absolutely need your service. Now, what I can see here in this room is that most of you guys come from a coding background, a developer background, and where I'm from, I'm pretty new to X. I'm only here since the 15th of August. So for me, it's all very new. But the niche that I landed in is more the copywriters, the banner designers, like creative people who do work like that, video editing and stuff. They actually have no idea that your group exists, but they can't code. Now, you guys might be good at coding and developing, and maybe you're not good at copywriting. So there is always a group out there, especially here on X, they're easy to find and contact with, who will need exactly your services. I know a lot of people out of the crypto and NFT scene, they try to build websites and develop programs in order to sell their NFTs or to showcase them. They have a huge demand for products that need development, and it's pretty easy to tap into those communities. Now, this is why I love X so much, because it gives you the opportunity to tap into the communities, make yourself heard, DM the people, make contacts, establish a connection, find out and get a feel for when and where your service is needed, and then you can pitch your offer. Does it answer your question, Tashbi?
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering.
You're welcome.
Moving on to Vaibhav. Vaibhav, you can unmute and ask.
Oh, hello. I am audible.
Yes, you're on.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Manjot, for this amazing space. And my question is with Rajnish and with Swapnil, but he exited. So the first question is, as Swapnil has shared about the templates. So what kind of templates? Like I work with the one client. He reach out to me on LinkedIn,
and I created the template, like converted into HTML CSS from PDF. So is this same like template?
This is a kind of, we can assume, uh, like every skill have many things to do in a different ways. You have converted a PDF to HTML, and I hope it must be responsive, right?
Yes, yes, it's
So
responsive.
you, that means that you know how to convert any design you see into HTML. You have that skill. So it means that
Right.
you can easily convert Figma, because it is more easy to convert Figma into HTML CSS, converting Photoshop file into HTML CSS. So if you see any job of PDF to HTML, Figma to HTML, PSD file, XD file, so you can easily do all those. So you can apply to those job easily. So when Swapnil is talking about template, he is talking about a more advanced thing. If you are aware of websites like Theme Forest, where people are selling themes and templates, he's talking about advanced thing that is very advanced actually. You have to create a template, a unique design yourself. I may be not sure what Swapnil said, but he's pointing to those templates which we create as a product. Let's say you create a unique design and it looks very aesthetic. It is very advanced and it looks good. So you can try to sell it on websites like Theme Forest. So he's talking about that part. If you can note down this website, themeforest.net. You can go to website and you can see people are selling HTML designs, themes, or many items over there, and that theme have very high standard, otherwise they will reject your product. So that way you can enhance your skills a lot. Your project will fail many times. Even my project have failed over there consistently. I have tried many WordPress themes, but you will learn many things working with them. So that's what Swapnil is saying. Sell your skills as a product on websites which allow that. So that's what he's saying.
I think Vaibhav, you got your answer. Now moving on to Joshua. You can go ahead and ask.
Oh,
Okay.
I have more questions.
Um, oh, okay. Thank you, Manjo, for this opportunity. Okay. The question I have is for someone who is new to freelancing and maybe sign up in a platform like Upwork, how can a person stand out in the crowd of other developers there? Because maybe the person at that moment haven't done any work for anyone, so his profile might not have been reviewed or at that time. So how can he stand out and maybe get maybe attract people who need services of a developer from that platform?
Hmm. Olaf and Rajneesh, any one of you can answer this.
Okay, let me answer it in short. Just I will take a couple of minutes. So Joshua, as you said that you don't have anything to display, anything to show to clients, and to be frank, Upwork doesn't work in that manner. Upwork client is going to receive 50 proposals on single project, on his project. So he will prefer a person who have done something in the past. So this is for everyone. If you are bidding on Upwork, you have to have some samples, examples of the same area. If he's looking for a health website, if you share some health website with him, it will be good. If you don't have that, you have to still be very close to it. So otherwise it's not, I don't think you will be able to get a project on that. And most importantly, to answer this question in a basic way, just go to Upwork and create a full profile, add your projects, add your description, your title, your hourly rate. And if you are not able to fill those detail completely, it will become difficult for you to get your first job. So I don't think that this is going to work that way.
Okay, I have another thing I want to add to that, and maybe that also plays into your question, Joshua, because Rajneet is definitely the expert from Upwork. I have no idea about Upwork. But also coming back to Tesh B's question, like where do you find clients? Because if you have such a tough competition, there's a client of mine. He did something amazing. He's a developer, and he found someone on Instagram who developed a game, right? Now, this game had, in his opinion, two big problems. The graphical user interface, the GUI, and the characters didn't look nice. So what did this guy do? He sat back home, and he designed characters that looked nicer. And he designed a graphical user interface that looked appealing. And then he just DM'd the guy. This guy had like 150,000 followers, and posted his designs with the developer of the game, or like the idea giver. The guy wasn't like a developer himself, and tagged him. And so what happened is it took 3 days, and the company who made this game approached my client and asked him to design the characters and the graphical user interface. So sometimes you have to solve a problem of a client before maybe he doesn't even know he has the problem. Now, I don't know, like each one of us has their personal interest and what we're good at. So you might be really good at graphical user interfaces, you might be really good at front end, you might be good at whatever it is. Look around you, look at the things that interest you, and find prospect clients who are in need of a better product. Then build that product, or at least a minimum viable version of that, and approach the client and say, hey, this is my idea. I saw your website. This is how I would do it. I saw your program. This is how I would do it. These are my ideas. And these days, through social media, you can easily approach these people. And if you got something that they like, you might land your first client just like that.
Thank you so much, Olaf and Rajneesh, for your perspectives. I think Vav has another question. You can go ahead and ask.
Okay, thank you. So this is like, okay, what about in a situation where you have already displayed maybe previous projects you have worked on, and maybe like I said, you are new to a freelancing platform and you haven't yet received any review from anyone, any recruiter, something like that. So you haven't gotten any review from nobody yet, but you know you can actually do. You have provided some of the previous works you have done on. Okay, let's say in front end, maybe let's say a client wants an e-commerce platform, an e-commerce website. So and at that point you haven't worked on an e-commerce website before, but you know you can do it. Let's say you have worked on maybe a real estate management website, you've worked on a hospital website. So and let's say that's the first job, the first gig you are going for, and you haven't done any job yet on Upwork, so you haven't been reviewed yet. You don't have any review or any rating, right? So and in your profile you have displayed this other project you have done, but it's not what the job poster is. It's not what is the job description. Like the person wants an e-commerce website, you haven't worked on an e-commerce website before. So how like attract that person? You have in your profile they are
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
done, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Hmm. So Joshua, I understood your question. You are saying that uh, let's say you want to apply for e-commerce websites and you don't have that skill. You might do that because you have similar skills, but you don't have something to show to client and make a proposal. So in that case, if you want to work on a bit different skill which is close to your existing skills, I will suggest you to get some certifications and add it to your profile on Upwork profile. And when you make a proposal, send those certification as a proof that I have done this certification, I am this level certified, and so on. like Shopify is a e-commerce platform. You can try with you can try building some site in e-commerce on Shopify, and you can get certified with that. And that way, once you start getting Shopify projects, then you can go to WordPress, and you can that way you can make a balance. So certification can help you. And you should approach your clients. Let's say you have done a you have done a simple website with your client, and that client, you can approach him that you can also do e-commerce website. So you have to always keep your existing client up to date with your skills. If you can if somehow you can get your clients on your email or Skype or somewhere out of Upwork for time being, I will always say that work through Upwork. Never work with client directly, because if you work directly, you will not get a review, and it will not add to your profile. So always work through Upwork, but try to communicate personally with them, and always try to show them new skills. That is the alternative you have. Otherwise, just directly saying to someone that I can do this, I can do that, client don't easily agree on that.
I think now we have answered almost all the questions the listeners have asked. So let's wrap up the space now. It has been amazing talking to each and every one of you. Thank you to all of you for attending this space, adding your perspectives and asking questions. Special thanks to Rajneesh, Swapnil and Olaf for answering the questions and adding your perspectives. It has been lovely talking to you all. Thank you so much, and looking forward to many more spaces in future and adding value to the community. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much
Yeah,
for having me, Manju.
yeah. I will say, Manju, that one thing that I like about this space is it was not about uh, explaining your journey in a random way. It was very specific to the point questions, and it definitely helped a lot, because we may end up talking more about different perspective without understanding what actually someone wants to know. So I really love this space, and thank you for hosting it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Very happy to hear that people are finding it useful. So let's wrap it up, and thank you so much. Looking forward to many more interactions with you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye
great
bye
day.
bye
Bye.
everyone. Bye everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.